now, right 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 now. Oh, I got a real good feeling.
We try to bring you high-quality educational and informational content every single day. Why do you think the price is having such an anemic time? The news story of the hour. Jump onto the chart. Is this the beginning of a massive financial unraveling? We got to add a little addendum to the show map today. So we start here on the daily. Now, we've been looking at the RSI on Bitcoin's daily chart for the last several days. It always has been, but it's been increasing over the last 50 years since the government has been Hey guys, what's going on? Jeb here, and welcome back to Coffee and Crypto Live. This is your week daily morning show where we bring you the latest in everything Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. And in today's episode, we are going to be talking about the Bitcoin market because, of course, Bitcoin is trading at just over $34,000 right now. We're very excited about that, and I believe that the actions of Larry Fink and BlackRock and the Securities and Exchange Commission are going to be able to drive Bitcoin even higher. I'm very excited to bring you today's episode, and we're going to go ahead and kick it off by reading some chat, and then we're going to jump straight on into it. Grand Roofing Incorporated was first this morning. He said, good morning, everyone. Good morning to you as well, Grand Roofing. Good to see you, my friend. Crypto Surge is in chat, said morning. Laird D's Nerd D said, boom, hello from Scotland. That sounds like a name from Scotland. I have no idea how to pronounce that. I do hail from Scotland, and people say that I have a decent. Now you're from Scotland, so you'd probably think it's terrible, but people say that I have a decent Scottish accent. So, no, that was terrible. That wasn't it. No. If we're gonna do the Scottish accent, we got to do it a little bit better. And you know, it's not even so much a Scottish accent as it is more a Shrek accent. You know, funnily enough, Shrek was originally going to be Irish, and then the guy that was supposed to do the voice acting came and he did a Scottish accent, and they were sold. Joe Bollier's in chat. Herman Barba is in chat. Wreck the Bear's in chat. Gammy G. Country Boy, can you survive? Yes, you can. Philly Skills 1428's in chat. Said, morning, Jeb. How's it going, my guy? Good to see you. I am doing very well. I am doing very well personally. My family and I are doing very well. James Sachs said, Mr. Jeb, good morning. Daniel J. said, hit me with that sweet music. Schmedley B in chat said, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. Good deal. Rick4962 said, hola. If it weren't for this Olive Garden ad, I would have been first. There you go. Lairdisner. That's the only thing I can come up with. Is that an actual name? That's a cool name if that's an actual name. I honestly thought that was monkeys on a keyboard, but I can pronounce it, so I think it's an actual name. Lairdisner. All right. Being BTC Crypto Alerts is in chat. And no offense to your name, my friend. I'm just like, at first I didn't even think that was a name, but it is. I think it's just a name that I didn't recognize. That's pretty cool. Ferris FX said, good morning, my friends. 2E Enterprises said, good morning, Jeb. Good to see you. Just Blue is in chat. By the way, shout out to everybody who has joined the stream relatively recently. We've had so many new subscribers pouring in, and I'm so excited to see you guys here. Thank you for tuning into our videos. Thank you for tuning into the stream, and we are going to jump straight on into it. Let's go ahead and jump straight on over to CoinMarketCap because we got a lot to talk about here. Over the last 24 hours, Bitcoin is up 1%. It's been a sideways day, but the last 7 days, Bitcoin has rallied by over $125 billion in market capitalization. We're going to talk about market capitalization quite a lot here today. $30 billion in daily volume. That's wonderful. ETH sitting at 1808. That is also wonderful. Bitcoin is now up over 100% year to date. We just go ahead and move this over here. Then you'll be able to see 106.35% year to date. Majority of the altcoins have rallied nowhere near as far. Ethereum's up 50%, XRP's up 63%, Cardano's up 12%, Solana's up 220%. But remember, Solana jumped off the metaphorical cliff when FTX crashed, so it has actually not rallied quite as far as it would have if not for it being mixed up with FTX. Tron's up 70%, it's done very well. Dogecoin is down, thank God. Chainlink is up 100%. Chainlink has been absolutely slaying this bull market, this pre-halving phase of the bull market, so we're very excited about that. I'm also very excited to tell you guys that we've spent one more day up here at 35K. Every day that we spend up here at 35 grand is another day that we lock in the levels that we're trading at right now. It's another day that we become far less likely to drop all the way back down to 25K. You know why? Because over the last month, we have managed to rally over 45 days. We've managed to rally 40%, up from 25K to 35K, and now to drop $10,000 back down to $25,000 just seems a little bit absurd. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So in today's episode, we're going to talk about how the actions of Larry Fink and BlackRock are going to be able to continue pushing this bull market forward, and I'm going to lay out the picture for where Bitcoin is going to go over the next little bit, over the next 8 to 16 months or so is really the time frame that I want to look at. Quick Sell Investor said, good morning, brother from Texas. Good morning to you as well. IA283 said, lol, you thank God for Doge staying down. Here's the deal. I don't hate Doge, and I actually kind of feel bad about saying that, because if Dogecoin is down, that means all the people that went long on Dogecoin are down. So that is sad to me. So not thank God it's down. I apologize. But I do just, I feel bad for people that are going all in on Dogecoin. Now, hang on a second. Hear the full picture here. Dogecoin is still the top meme coin. All right, you guys are going to think, Jeb, is that you? Is that you in there? Where'd you go? That's what you're about to think when I say what I'm going to say. Dogecoin actually might not be a bad moon bag for the bull market. Want to know why? Because it's still the top altcoin. Excuse me. It's still the top meme coin, and it did this last time. I could totally see Dogecoin doing a 2 or 3x. I could totally see it. Look, should it? Does it have underlying value? No. Does it have hype and speculation? And does it have people that think it's funny? Yes. Does it corner the market on basically moon coins that rally and then crash right back to where they started? It has cornered that market. So here's the deal. I don't like Dogecoin very much. I think it's very funny, but it probably will go through a big rally in the bull market. And if you buy it, you probably will make some money. The question is, will you outpace Bitcoin? I don't know, but I could see you making some money. If you enjoyed today's stream, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Shout out to the Dogecoin community, because I think of all times, this might actually be one of the best times to buy Dogecoin if you're going to buy Dogecoin. So there you go. Can we talk about how Doge is the only crypto? Only crypto? It's the only one? Oh, you removed the message. Sorry, I exposed it. I apologize. Lol, Doge is fun is for fun and degening. Oh yeah, don't get me wrong. Dogecoin's hilarious. Doge was my favorite meme back in 2013. Oh, it was great. I remember there was a Doge meme mod pack for Minecraft, and you could get a block and it had the Doge meme on all 6 sides. I remember that. Listen, I had a childhood. I remember Doge. I think it's a hilarious meme. It's one of the funniest memes that's ever been memed. And when you drive down the street and you see a Shiba Inu, you're like, hey, boom, Doge. Rocky Balboa's in chat. Rocky Balboa is in chat. He said, I'm a new subscriber. You was accurate about the pump that came. That's true. Yeah, it's really funny because I got on a call with somebody and they were asking like, hey, what should happen here? You know, is Bitcoin going to go up? Is it going to go down? I'm hearing 25. This is when it was at 31.4. This is an hour before the pump. They're like, should I hold? I was like, yeah, look, I think it's about to go to 35. It's going to break 31.8, and then within a couple minutes to a couple hours, it'll be at 35. And they held and they made money. So shout out to that person. I'm not going to say who it is, but shout out to them. They might be watching. So pretty cool stuff. Excited to be able to bring you guys some high quality technical analysis. Speaking of high-quality technical analysis, let's jump on the chart and do some. Bitcoin has been in one massive bull flag all year. If you go back to March of this year, we had predicted that Bitcoin was going to be trading at... Where's my chart? There it is. We had predicted that Bitcoin was going to be trading between $35,000 and $50,000 by year's end, that it would at least reach one of those levels. We made that prediction back here. None of this had happened. Let's just go ahead real quick and go back here. We made the prediction of us going to $35,000 back here, and this is what the chart looked like. We had none of the data that I just removed, and that has now happened. So, since we've now hit 35K, we managed to rally through all of this market. All of this is playing out right now, was not there when we made that prediction. Now that we've managed to do all of that, where does Bitcoin go next? That is the question, and here is my answer. I believe that Bitcoin is going to continue rallying into quarter 4 of this year, at least staying above 32,935. If you'll remember, 32,935 is a pretty important level because it is the bottom that we set here on January the 24th, I think it is, Monday, January the 24th of 2022. It was the first major bottom of the bear market. We dropped 51% down, $35,000, and that's where we bottomed out first, 32,935. That had always, all year, been a critical level that we were looking at reaching. We have now reached that, and we have now breached that. So if Bitcoin does need to go through a correction, the first place that it's going to come down to is 32,935. Here's the thing. If Bitcoin does pull back down to 32,935, Forgive me, I am still very sick. I'm just here because I love what I do and there is work to be done. If we pull back down to 32,935, then what we've essentially done, let me just go to a cleaner chart here. It might be a little easier to see. If we pull back down to 32,935, which is our level right here, somewhere right there, 33, whatever, we'll call it that number. If we pull back down here and then bounce, this would be the smallest right shoulder ever. This is like the right shoulder of somebody that's 3 feet tall, but it would be a right shoulder, and we would see a gigantic multi-year long inverse head and shoulders pattern. Well, here's the thing about that inverse head and shoulders pattern. Price target calls all-time high because it points up to $69,000. Going to be making a video on this probably next week when I have more time to sit down and edit videos. I've been doing a lot of phone videos lately because, first of all, they do better in the algorithm, so why not? But also, yeah, so we're going to probably sit down and make an edited technical analysis video on that, probably a climate of crypto video. So stay tuned for that. Subscribe if you haven't already. There will be more content on that in the future. But for now, just know that if we do have a pullback down to 32,935 and we do put in that right shoulder, then that does give us a price target for all-time high, which is wonderful. Again, that points up to 68.5. All-time high is 69, so that might as well be an all-time high price prediction. And I do think that that will happen next year. People got on my case about me saying that next year I think Bitcoin will go to at least $70,000. They're like, yeah, but it's going to go to 100 next year. It's going to go to 200 the year after. Why are you only saying 70? Well, here's the deal. Everybody said we're going to 100 this year, and I predicted 35 to 50. So now I'm the one that looks like, wow, man, Jeb was a little bit more conservative on his price prediction. It actually happened. That's awesome. And so I would rather tell you it's going to go to $70,000. I mean, this is a principle for how I live my life that you might find handy. I would rather tell you it's going to go to $70,000 next year and it go to 120, and you're happily surprised, and you manage to make more money than you thought you would, and then for me to tell you it's going to go to 120 and it only goes to 70, because then you're going to be disappointed. The way that I like to go through life is thinking, I am going to expect the worst. Not in a nihilistic way, not in a depressed way, not in a bitter way, not in a a sad way, but I'm going to expect nothing. I'm going to expect people to treat me terribly. You know why? Because I deserve it. I deserve way worse than anything any of y'all could ever say to me, because we're sinners, right? So I deserve the worst, and I also expect the least. And so that gives me a heart of gratitude. I can walk through life and say, man, I woke up today. Heck yeah. I get another day on this earth. I get another day to preach the gospel to people. I get another day to serve my family. I get another day to get up and smell the roses, whatever it is. If we look at Bitcoin and we say, all right, I think it's going to go to 70, or I think it's going to go to 50, I think it's going to go to 65, whatever, and then it goes to 120, awesome. That's great. I'm excited. I'm thankful. You set yourself up to be thankful. The way that you set yourself up to be unthankful and therefore miserable is by having high expectations. There I said it. By having high expectations, you set yourself up to be miserable. Have low expectations and then work very, 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 very hard. I'm not saying be lazy. I'm not saying don't push your children or your employees or other people to be the best version of themselves. I'm not saying don't push yourself to be the best version of yourself. But as Queen just said in chat, a day above ground is a huge blessing. Amen. All right, let's continue on here. Jeremy Montelia said, dude, you're back. Nice to see you. I've been back for a year, but everybody doesn't know that because YouTube. So welcome back to the channel. I've been back for a year. I was actually only gone from the channel for 2 months. Long story with what happened there. Not a story that we've talked about much on YouTube, and not a story that I really want to talk about much on YouTube. There was fault on both sides, but I'm excited to be back, and I love what I do. Love what I do. All right. Can we talk about how Doge is the only crypto with unlimited max supply? Like, can we all mine as much as we want into existence? Meanwhile, it's illegal and impossible to print national currency. I think that's a little bit backwards. It's not a good... oh, I see. You're talking about... Oh, I see. You're talking about counterfeiting. Right. Yeah, one of the things I don't like about Doge, like you said, unlimited supply. You want to talk about supply and demand economics? Having a supply that large, not necessarily a good thing. Anyway, let's move on here. So, how does Larry Fink and BlackRock tie into... How do, I should say. I remember taking English class. How do Larry Fink and BlackRock tie into the bull market for the next 8 to 16 months, next 12 to 18 months, somewhere in there? Well, quite simply, it's this. The United States Securities and Exchange Commission is losing the cultural war hard. They're losing so bad. I mean, Gary Gensler, he is up a creek without a paddle. He also forgot his canoe, so I don't even know how he got there in the first place. That dude is screwed. Like, he has lost the cultural war, period. Period. He's done. He's failed miserably. And I kind of feel bad for him. I kind of don't at the same time, because it seems like he's just trying to profit off of everything. And it seems like he's, in bed with the banks. But the deal here is that he's lost the cultural battle. Full stop. Congress thinks he's a joke. The public thinks he's a joke. Thinks what he's doing is a joke, I should say. I like to go after people's actions, not their character. But there's plenty I could say on his character. He's lost the war. And so when you have another Securities and Exchange Commissioner come into the office, they're not going, I don't care how far left they are, they're not going to want to take the kind of stance that Gary Gensler has taken. You know why? Because he's got egg on his face. The idea of the Securities and Exchange Commission is basically, hey, let's put some guardrails up in the market so Granny doesn't get screwed over and we get egg on our face because we're the one that are supposed to regulate the market and stop her from losing all her money, because if she doesn't have any money, then she can't retire and then she's got to work until she's 93 as a lunch lady. That's the SEC's MO. The issue is, when you go against the entire cryptocurrency space and you go against $1 trillion market and try and shut the entire thing down, and you fail, which he has, miserably, then nobody wants to do that again. Nobody wants to go down in history as the guy that tried to stop the next digital revolution and failed. I mean, it'd almost be kind of cool. It'd almost be like infamous if he managed to do it. If he managed to stop the growth of the bull market for 5 or 10 years, he'd almost have some kind of street cred. Like, oh yeah, well, I'm not saying that pirates or bandits are cool, because they're not. They're jerks, they're murderers. I'm not saying that. But the culture, anyway, I wouldn't say this, but the culture's like, oh man, they stopped the railroad from coming in. Oh man, they stopped this, they stopped that. They stopped innovation this way or that way. And I'm not getting into any cultural issues, because some things need to be stopped for good reasons. But the point is, the counterculturalists sometimes get some street cred. At least he'd be remembered as like, he was on the wrong side, but he tried. But not only is he against the cultural movement that his cryptocurrency adoption is coming, period, he's failing at it. So not only does he look like a jerk, he also looks like a failure. So listen, Gary Gensler has had a much more successful career than I. He's worked with some of the, now he's also, 75,000 years older than me, so he's had time to do it. But I don't want to knock him and say, hey, he sucks, he's stupid. I'm not saying that. But I am saying that nobody's going to want to follow in his footsteps and do what he's done. So even if you have somebody who is staunchly against crypto, either far left, far right, don't care, come into the cryptocurrency, come into the SEC, they're not going to take up the same policies that he did, because they realize that's not the way to do it. You cannot stop cryptocurrency. That is the thing I love about Bitcoin. Listen, if it is a just law, I will follow it. If it is an unjust law, then I can't guarantee you that I will. If I am told to do something that is sin, I won't do it. Period. I will break that law to maintain my moral integrity. This is not really an issue of moral integrity, but what I will say is that cryptocurrency is unstoppable, and the thing I like about cryptocurrency is that it doesn't ask permission, it tells you how it is. And you cannot stop a force of nature. You cannot write a law that says, oh, well, gravity's illegal. Just let that sink in for a second. You cannot write a law and expect to have any respect for that law that says the sun's not allowed to rise tomorrow. You cannot write a law that says the waves are not allowed to wash up on the shore. You cannot write a law that says continental drift is illegal. You can't do that. You can write that law all day, but you look like a quack. It doesn't work. And so that's the thing I love about Bitcoin, is that the way that it's been built is that the only way to legislate against it, and the SEC, for their credit, hasn't even tried anything with Bitcoin because they know it's just asinine. But the thing that I love about Bitcoin is that to try and legislate it away, to try and get Bitcoin out of your society, you have to crack down full-on 1984 style. And good luck, because authoritarian governments like that almost always fail because they don't have the ability to appease any of the public, because nobody likes living under them, so they eventually fall into a complete disaster. They eventually collapse in on themselves. Look at the Soviet Union. Look at Venezuela. Look at Cuba. There's plenty of examples in history. So Bitcoin is moving in the upwards direction. Why? Well, because the SEC can't stand in the way of adoption for Bitcoin forever. And Larry Fink knows it. Larry Fink knows it, and kudos to him for being a good businessman and realizing that what he was saying 3 years ago might have been with the times, if you will. It might have been the majority opinion that crypto was stupid, or crypto was for money laundering or for T activity. You know what I'm trying to say? YouTube will demonetize me. 3-5 years ago, he probably realized, yep, that's what the culture thinks, so I'm going to say that. Maybe that's what he thought. But kudos to him It's probably the first time I've ever said kudos to Larry Fink for anything. But kudos to Larry Fink for realizing, whew, I'm going to get left behind. And I'm going to start looking like a fool like Gary Gensler if I don't get on board. So let's go ahead and be the ones that are going to start this whole thing in the first place. It's going to happen. It is inevitable. It's unstoppable. You cannot stop the adoption of Bitcoin, period, because it's got such powerful fundamentals that it cannot be stopped because so many people need it in their life. Larry Fink at least realized, all right. Let's go ahead and be the ones that are going to push it forward. That's how the innovators make innovation. They realize that there's progress happening in society. I'm not talking about changing morality. That's nonsense. But what I am saying is that there's technological revolutions. There's progress being made technologically. The people that win in history are the ones that realize something's changing. I might not understand it, but I'm going to get on board. Not only am I going to get on board, not only am I going to say, oh, yeah, that's cool. No, I'm going to be the one that's going to drive that forward. The kind of people that win in society are the people that say, computers? It's just stupid. The only purpose for a computer is that a couple of universities could talk to each other faster. Why not just pick up the phone and call each other? Computers are dumb. The kind of person that becomes a world-shaping figure is the kind of individual that has that perspective, and then they say, whoa, wait a minute, I was wrong. Computer's going to take over. I'm going to go and start, the equivalent of an Apple or a Microsoft or an Oracle or whatever. And jump on board with the times. And so kudos to Larry Fink for doing that. That was a great business decision to get on board with Bitcoin. But it also shows you that to get the attention of the most powerful man in finance, there's something seriously going on with Bitcoin, and it will not stop. So, as we continue on here, what does Larry Fink and BlackRock do to what do Larry Fink and BlackRock do to the market? The Bitcoin ETF will probably be approved in the next 18 months at this point. Either this BlackRock ETF will be approved in the next 4 to 5 months before its actual application runs out, or they will refile at such a date that enough time for the application exists before the the next presidential election. Next presidential election is coming up. Inauguration will happen in, January 20th, 2025, I think it will be. January 20th, I think, is normally inauguration day. So January 20th, 2025, you're going to get a new SEC commissioner. And that new SEC commissioner is not going to be Gary Gensler, more than likely, because Gary Gensler's got to go crawl back in his hole and keep, playing bingo with the big banks. So you're going to get a new SEC commissioner. So by quarter 1 to quarter 2 of 2025, at the latest, I think you have a Bitcoin ETF. It's possible it happens even before then. If it does happen at that point, we would actually, on a time scale, be past where you would expect all-time high to be. You would expect all-time high to be somewhere towards the end of 24 to the beginning of 25. So it's possible that the Bitcoin market is rallied up to $70,000 to $100,000 by the end of next year. And then it starts the bear market, and then the ETF comes in and it keeps it afloat, and then Bitcoin just trades sideways, and it doesn't even have a bear market because you've got so much investment, and the investment managers and everything just spin the narrative, oh no, it's not going to go into a bear market, it's about to stay up, and it's going to go forever, and you buy it now because it's on a dip, and then you're down 20%, you buy it, and then it rallies back up to all-time high, and then it just keeps going, and you see something like what happened here. Bull market all-time high, fell down, oh wait a minute, Venezuela bought it, oh sorry, not Venezuela, El Salvador bought it, now we're going through a massive rally again. Bitcoin is going to be institutionalized and adopted by the retail in this bull market, and that is going to give it some staying power that it's never had before. This bear market would have probably not been 77% drop. If not for the pandemic and the actions of the Fed, that probably would have been a 60% pullback, whereas the last bear market would have been, it basically did exactly what it should have done, was an 83% pullback. The bear market before then, I am on my face. The bear markets that we're looking at here, I didn't really even show anything on the chart. I was just looking at the chart while I was talking. We saw the rally up here. El Salvador comes in, bounces the market and rallies. And then what I was saying is that this bear market was a 77% drop, probably would have only been a 60% drop, whereas this bull market was an 83% drop. Sorry, bear market was an 83% drop. Then this bear market over here was an 85% drop. 85, 83. This probably would have been a 60% bear market. I would not be at all surprised to see the next bear market, we rally to 100 to 120,000, and then we drop maybe like 40%, maybe 50 at most. I could totally see that. I could totally see 50% being the new drop for the bear market. Because Bitcoin is becoming institutionalized. Bitcoin is becoming part of people's retirement plan. Bitcoin is becoming a part of the way that you invest for the long term, and that cannot be ignored because that is the first time that we have seen anything like that happen in over a century. The idea of investing for retirement is a very new concept, and there's only one way that you typically do it, and that is through the stock market. But Bitcoin is now joining the race, and it is going to see millions of Americans investing in Bitcoin for retirement. I have Bitcoin that I'd like to hold till retirement. I'm sure many of you guys have Bitcoin, hold Bitcoin like you that you're going to hold until retirement. Shane Sullivan is in chat. Said every day is a blessing. Got that right, Queen. That's right. God is good. Thank you, Lord, for this day. And God, please give me the words to continue to share the truth of Bitcoin and the truth of your son to everyone here. In Jesus' name, amen. Good deal. Someone said, not Mike Lowry. I'm sorry, Mike Lowry. It's just your birthday yesterday. That's awful. Or the day before. Crypto Surge said he, and for some reason I said Mike Lowry. Not Mike Lowry. Oh, probably because I see Queen saying Mike Lowry. Crypto Surge said he, Gary Gensler, is a dinosaur and a lizard. Oh, man. Did you know that Tyrannosaurus Rex means tyrant lizard king? Tyrannosaur means tyrant. Tyranna means tyrant. Saurus means lizard, and Rex means king. So tyrant lizard king. Okay. Wait, okay. Lairdsner D said, gotta go, Jeb. Got a meeting. Surname Laird. Nickname Lairdy. SNR for senior. Oh, okay. The SNR is not part of the name. That makes a lot more sense. Lairdy. Oh, okay. Yeah, that sounds, what is it, Scottish? Yep, that sounds Scottish. My last name's McAfee, and that's pronounced McAfee, technically, as far as we pronounce it McAfee. The last 5 generations pronounce it McAfee. But in Scotland, it would have been pronounced McAfee. Mick Affey, House of Affey. Mick means house. Affey is, just a name. Waiting for my Vanguard to custody my Bitcoin. Not sure if I trust iShares yet. Fair enough, Thomas Post. If BlackRock jumps on board and gets their ETF, Vanguard won't be far behind. Vanguard's known for the index funds. iShares is known for their ETFs, but I could totally see Vanguard getting a ETF in line, or at least some kind of investment product, exchange-traded product on board very quickly. Gemini is giving me a message. Bitcoin deposits and withdrawals are suspended. Interesting. It's always sad when that occurs. Very, very odd. All right. So, how do the next 6 months play out? Let's talk about shorter-term technicals, and then we'll keep moving on here. I am quite confident that Bitcoin is going to have some staying power with this rally. Here's the deal. I could totally see Bitcoin dropping all the way back down as far as 30K before we rally. But I believe that this trading range that we had been in for most of the year is behind us. Part of the reason for that is the VRVP. The VRVP is just so much in our favor right now. There's so much VRVP support if you zoom in and look at the last year, which is really the support that matters. There is a mountain of VRVP support. If you go back and look at just 2023, do a visible range volume profile. Or in that case, you could also do a fixed range volume profile. Drag it from the beginning of 2023. The point of control is right here at 26.5. That is $10,000 below us. To even fall back down to that level would be a retracement on the order of 25%. That would be a massive retracement in its own right. But it would also have to contend with all of this VRVP support over here, even starting as high as 30K. Again, huge VRVP support sitting right there at $30,000. If Bitcoin does need to go through a correction, it's very likely that it would fall back down to 30K and it would bounce and it would rally as a result of that. And a correction probably will happen if Bitcoin is not able to continue the rally. If Bitcoin does not continue the rally for a while, this very well may be a blow off top, what we're looking at right here. And part of the reason for that is because RSI is sitting at 86. It's unlikely, in my opinion, that Bitcoin is just going to sit up here and trade sideways. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't say unlikely. It can happen, and it did happen here in January of 2023. It is possible that Bitcoin does sit up here and trade sideways. The concern that I have right now is that the way you get a blow off top is by expending all of your bullish energy to get to the level and then having none to sustain your loft. I like the example of a hot air balloon. Use all of your fuel to get up to altitude, and you got none left when you get to 30,000 feet, or probably not 30,000 feet, they don't go that high, but 8,000 feet. You get to 8,000 feet, you got no fuel to sustain yourself, and then what do? You fall. You come right back down to ground. Hot air balloon with no gas, no fuel is a dangerous place to be. So, is that where Bitcoin is right now? Has Bitcoin expended all of its bullish energy? If not, and if it's able to hold up here, oh my goodness, that is a huge sign. But keep in mind, guys, we've rallied $8,200 in 12 days. 12 days. And we cannot ignore the fact that that cost a lot. That cost a lot of dry powder. A lot of dry powder was deployed into Bitcoin from that movement. If we look at the dominance, Bitcoin's dominance has shot up. Over the last month, it's gone from 49% to 53%. And in that same time, you can see here the USDT's market dominance has gone from 8% down to 6.7%. So there's been a pretty major drop in the in that category. Not a huge drop, and I am encouraged to see that there's still that much money in stablecoins, because there's still a lot of value in stablecoins. If anything, it's actually continued to go up. You can even see here the value in stablecoins has gone up by about $1 billion. But the fact of the matter is that there's still a lot of dry powder. There's still going to need to be quite a lot of dry powder on the side to keep Bitcoin at these levels, and a lot of people very well may cash in their profits. I think it's going to take a couple of weeks to see how. I think it's going to take a couple of weeks to see whether Bitcoin can hold up here at 35K to see what is going to happen next. Because if we just sit here for a couple of months, a couple of weeks, and nothing really happens, and the news goes back to being boring, you're going to see a drop, because people are going to say, all right, well, made my money. I guess I should sell right now. I thought I was going to go higher. Most of the reason that Bitcoin is hovering at these levels is because people have this expectation that it's going to go higher. So if Bitcoin doesn't go higher, then they get bored and they sell, because they think, all right, well, if it's not going to go higher, it's probably going to go lower. I don't know if it'll trade sideways. More likely to do one or the other. If it's not going to go up, it's probably going to go down. I'll sell and I'll buy back in at 30 or 33 maybe even. And that's normally how the B wave of Elliott wave ABCDE rally takes place. So we shall see what happens there. The one thing that I also want to mention is, of course, there is quite a lot of instability going on in the world, from Russia and Ukraine, from Israel and Hamas, and from the potential regional conflicts and regional humanitarian crises and refugee crises that could come from that. All of those instability, all those factors of instability lead to people wondering if they should be invested at all, that they should be holding everything they have in a risk on, not a risk on, but in a sovereign currency like the United States dollar, and that pushes them towards Bitcoin. Good deal. Stefan Istode said, it's curious that it raised after the new war in the Middle East started. Don't you think it's possible that maybe illegal weapons transactions may have caused this Bitcoin rally? No, I don't think that had anything to do with it at all, to be honest with you. The amount of volume that takes place on Bitcoin every single day is so much larger than Hamas. If that's what you're talking about, that there was volume that brought in from illegal weapons transaction because Elizabeth Warren said that. People need to understand how much value is in Bitcoin. People want to knock on Bitcoin like it's this tiny little, nonsense investment. Guys, it's worth $677 billion frickin' dollars. All right? Money laundering activities and T activities, all of those things are nowhere near big enough. Nowhere near big enough to be the thing that caused this rally. The illegal activity that takes place on Bitcoin, it does not hold a freaking candle to the amount of volume that takes place just from people investing in it because they believe it's going to go up in the long term. The speculation, that's what we are. We're speculating. It's going to go up. It's going to be worth more in 10 years than it is now. And I'm very confident that it will be, or I wouldn't be saying that. So, no, I respectfully, I don't think that that's what happened. I think there's a lot of people that are trying to spin that narrative, and I think that they are uninformed on how much volume Bitcoin actually has and on how much it takes to move Bitcoin. Iran is not a large enough state actor to move the price of Bitcoin in a dramatic way. Iran is obviously bent on destroying Israel, but they're also kind of broke. You know why? Because they're the pariah state, and nobody but Russia and North Korea will trade with them. So, I mean, some people will buy their oil, don't get me wrong, but Iran does have money. Don't get me wrong. Way more money than I have. But not enough money, in my opinion, that they would be willing to deploy into Bitcoin to move it at all. Hamas, that's a joke. There's money there, but not enough to move Bitcoin. Don't get me wrong. Elizabeth Warren, she's the devil. I don't know if she's the literal devil, But yeah, the charts don't follow the news follows the charts to some degree. I think they are intertwined. The charts do cause the news in a large part. The closest VRVP support was 32K. Yeah, well, we've outrun all of the movement. We're in uncharted territory. There's nothing up there above 32. Why? Well, because we just got up here. We got to build it. That's the way that always works. So don't be startled if you're like, oh man, there's no VRVP support up here. Well, there's no VRVP support up here because it got built sometime. You know, if we go back to here, there was exactly 0 VRVP support from the beginning of the year above 25 because we hadn't been up there yet. Now, if you zoom out in history, of course, there's VRVP activity going on up there. But as far as looking at the last year, there has not been a lot of VRVP activity above 32K because we just got up here like 3 days ago. Cool. Here we go. Let me show you the chart. I am going to get a second monitor. Don't worry. As far as I have just so you know, I have 15 monitors I'm trying to sell. So I got the cream to the crop of being able to choose second monitors. I just need to actually put one up here. I have so much media equipment. For any of you guys who are newer to the channel, at one point we had 16 employees. I had a bunch of people on camera, massive studio. I'll be honest, it was just a headache. Just a giant headache. I look back, I've been doing crypto YouTube for 6 years. Here in about 3 weeks, it'll have been 6 years. And I've got 6 years of data to look back on and say, that worked, that failed, that was a headache, that made a lot of money, that was successful, that helped a lot of people, I was able to really support people in that was a mess. I've been able to look back and say, wow, what is the golden age of the channel? I've been doing this, guys, you know, my employee, Malachi, said something funny yesterday. He said, you're only 23, but you're the old guy in the space. There's a bunch of people in the space that attribute their inspiration of getting into technical analysis to me, and that's crazy because I attribute me getting into the market to Data Dash. So shout out to Data Dash. Don't agree with his analysis on a lot of things lately, but shout out to him, Nicholas Merton. He and I have been wanting to do a collaboration for a long time. Shout out to he and his family, actually. He's had a very big blessing coming into his life recently. But I've been in the market for 6 years, and he said, Jeb, you're 23 years old, but you're the old guy in the space because you've been here longer than just about anybody. And it's true. I've been here longer than some of the big names you'll know. I've been here longer than Carl from the Moon. Friends with Carl, nothing wrong with him. He's been very successful. Started my channel a month before him. I've been here longer than Ben. Been here longer than Ran, I think. I'm pretty sure I've been here longer than George. I've been here for a long time. So I get to look back and say, wow, what worked? What didn't work with the channel? And I can say, all right, some of the things that I've seen is I like to keep it simple. I like to enjoy my time with you guys. And so I love the way that this is going. I really believe the next year is going to be my favorite year of being on YouTube that I've ever done. I really do believe that. If you don't know, I've been making content on YouTube for over 10 years now. Yes, I am 23 years old, and I've been making YouTube content for over a decade. Never thought I'd be able to say that, but here I am. It's been my dream since I was like 10 years old to be a YouTuber. Anyway, enough about me. If you're enjoying today's stream, hit that like button. By the way, I did just want to mention something that I have put together. And, okay, I need to fix it because it's not in the description box right now. But let me go ahead and grab this. I've been looking into exchanges for you guys, and I think I have found an exchange that I think you guys are going to like. I do just want to mention it really quickly here. 1 second. And that would be none other than Apex. It's an exchange I've been using myself. It's an exchange that I've been interested in sharing with you guys, and I'd love to hear what you guys think about it. Love to hear you guys try it. Go ahead and check the description now if you want. There is a link down there to sign up for a DEX. It's called Apex, and it is by Bybit. It's technically it's not by Bybit, but it's extremely closely affiliated with Bybit. And it is a decentralized exchange, so you don't need any KYC. If you're in the United States, you don't have to use a VPN and everything to get on it. You can connect a wallet to it, and your money always stays with you. So you never actually lose custody of your own money because it's a smart contract, because it's a decentralized exchange, and you can trade with leverage. Now, if you're going to trade with leverage, I want you to be very careful. And since I will be mentioning this, some exchanges that I've been using in the background every once in a while, I will probably talk a little bit more about leverage and make sure that you guys know that you need to be very careful with it. But it is useful. It is a useful tool. You know, I would be a hypocrite to say that leverage is a no-go, because I also believe that mortgages are okay. And essentially, if you put 20% down on a house, you bought that house on 5x leverage. Put down 1/5 of it, you borrowed 4/5 of it, and so you've got yourself a leverage deal there. If you're a real estate investor and you buy a house and you put 20% down, you bought that house with 5x leverage. So I'm not against leverage, but I do want you to be very careful with it because it is a form of debt and it can mess you up. But if you're going to use leverage, I do think that if you're outside of the States, Bybit's a pretty good option. And if you're inside of the United States, Apex is a very good option as well. It's what I use. So if you're interested in supporting the channel and you're interested in leverage trading, either one of those are an option. If you don't feel totally comfortable with leverage trading, stay out of it though. And there are other exchanges that you can go to if you're just trying to do spot trading. So just wanted to put that out there in case you guys were interested in that. So thank you guys so much for that. Crypto Surge is in chat, said, you are so blessed due to that you're only 23 in so early into this community. I'm so very thankful. I'm so very thankful for my time here in the cryptocurrency space. And I know there's many, many, many years to go. What about Crypto Kirby? Man, I haven't heard that name in a while. I don't know what it was. Crypto Kirby used to always be dropping shade on me. Is he even still on YouTube? Is he still doing stuff? Is he? Does he? Oh. Where are you now, Crypto Kirby? Looks like I outlasted him. He hasn't made a video in 5 months. My friend, where'd you go? Where is he? I remember this dude. Crypto Kirby Trading. He used to get a ton of views. I don't know what happened. Does anybody know what happened to Crypto Kirby? He used to rag on me all the time. He used to make fun of me all the time, and I'd never respond to it. People would tell me, I'd just be like, oh, okay, cool. Where'd it go? I don't know. If anybody knows where Crypto Kirby went, let us know. Oh my gosh. Lily's having fun in chat. OMAC is in chat. Said, good morning, everyone. Good morning to you, OMAC. Good morning to you, and thank you for our conversations that we have been having on Discord. We will have to jump on a call sometime. Kirby's stuck on the old trading style. Yeah, I don't know. I never really watched his videos. I just remember people would jump in my chat and say, oh, Crypto Kirby's making fun of you. I'm like, oh, cool. I like it when people make fun of me because it means that they think I'm worth talking about, I guess. Never bothered me when people were making fun of me. I remember, let me tell you a story and then we'll wrap it out. Let me tell you a story. I was starting, was it this channel? No, it wasn't this channel. It was a channel that I'd started like 7 years ago. And I had this friend in, not friend. I was trying to be his friend, but he was kind of a jerk in high school. And I was in 11th grade. I made this video. It was a video about politics. And you're never going to find it, so don't even try. Don't even bother. But I made this video about politics. And so he went and showed this video, and my friend Shannon, who later became my chief marketing officer and, made hundreds of thousands of dollars for it. He came in and he's like, look at this. This guy named Seth. That's not his name. I'll just call him Seth. Seth is down in the cafeteria showing like 5 or 10 people your video, and they're all laughing about it, making fun of it. And I remember just looking at him and saying, good. We'll see who's laughing in a few years. I'll never forget that. I will never forget that. And then we started the YouTube channel. I'm like, and then Dylan found out that the channel was doing really well, and I was just like, I would love to see the look on his face. I'm not trying to rub it in his face. I'm not trying to revile again. I'm not trying to make fun of him because he was making fun of me. But there is just something, I don't know, maybe it's pride. You guys would have to tell me and confront me if you think that I'm being prideful. But there is a part of me that's just like, yeah. Who's laughing now? I'm sorry. Maybe that's wrong. Again, maybe that's wrong. You guys can tell me if you think that's wrong. Oh, goodness. Any chance for a collab with the guy over at Coin Bureau? I've had the pleasure of getting to know a lot of the influencers in the crypto space pretty well. I have not gotten to know Rand very well. I don't know much about him. Rand Nooner. I've met him. I've done an interview with one of the members of his team. I've shaken his hand and everything. We've met before, but I haven't gotten to know him very well. So I'm not sure. Not totally sure. I'm not really doing a lot of collaborations right now. I'm trying to do some. There's some stuff you guys know that I'm trying to work on right now. But at the end of the day, I'm really working hard just to get this channel as consistent as possible so that we're ready for the bull market and to help you guys. Not that we weren't trying to be as consistent as possible during the bear market. We were. It just so happens that we're getting a lot of things figured out right when the bull market's starting, and that's really exciting. Alex Nibo asking a great question. Jeb, what's going on with late start times? Today, I was going to be a little bit late. I do have a solution that's coming next week for that. Have a solution that's coming next week for that, Alex. But to be honest with you, I would want to pray about it more before I got into it on stream, but there is something that has been that I'll be honest. I drove into work today and I was on cloud nine. I was like, man, things are going so well. The channel's doing great. The market's doing great. The subscribers are doing great. I feel like personally, our family's doing great. So many things are moving in a great direction. I drove in and I'd opened Twitter and I read something and I just started. I'll be honest with you. I was fighting very hard not to just break down crying. And it took me about half an hour to pull myself together to get here on and do the stream. And I've been doing the stream, so my mind's been off of it. But I don't know if I want to talk about it publicly yet, or if at all. It's not to do with me, my family, kids, wife. Everything's great. Our company, great shape. Everything's doing wonderful. We're moving right along. Everything in our life is doing wonderful. But and some of you might be able to guess what I'm talking about. But today I would have been about 10 minutes late, but we ended up being 45 minutes late. Like I said, it was it's very, very, very rare that anything emotional is the reason that I'm running late to the stream. But today, I'll be honest with you, there was something that was very heavy on my heart, and it did make it very hard. So Alex Nybo, great question. 10 a.m. is still the start time. We haven't actually started at that time in a while, and we're going to fix that. But today, I was quite a bit later for a different reason. Crypto Surge said, smash the likes. Thank you so much. Crypto Chef said, lol, yeah, not wrong. Pride and hard work. Keep it up. We love you, Jeb. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Crypto Chef said, prayer sent your way. Thank you. I mean, look, it's not about me. Like I said, we're doing great. I'm wonderful. But yeah, now it's not wrong, bro. You deserve to feel good about payback. I don't want to feel good about payback. The Bible says that when he was reviled, he reviled not again, talking about Jesus. As far as when he was hanging on that cross, there were plenty of people making fun of him. And he didn't turn around and make fun of them back. I have no interest in reviling someone again. And so that's why I may feel a little bit convicted about being like, haha, you're wrong. But because it does smell a little bit like pride to me. But that is the temptation, is to feel that way. Like, haha, you were laughing about it. Now let's see what happened. It was really funny because I had another friend that he straight up told me. He looked at me in the face. He said, Jeb, we were driving down the road one day. It was like midnight. We were out just riding around because I was, a kid, just got in a car, out riding around. And I told him, listen, we're going to build a giant company. We're going to help millions of people. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. It's going to be great. It's going to be awesome. And he just looked at me dead in the eye. He said, or as far as I was driving, he looked right at me. He said, Jeb, you can't do that. That's just all he said. He said, Jeb, you can't do that. And you know what I said? I turned to him, and this is 5 years ago. The channel's like a year and a half old. I turned to him. I just said, say that again. He said, what? This is a true story. This really happened. I'm not going to say the name of who this was, but he might even be watching the stream. He looked at me and he said, to start off, I told him, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, we're going to do this. I was so fired up. I was sharing the vision with him. He's like, you can't do that. I looked at him and said, say it again. And I was really serious. And he's like kind of freaked out because I was just super happy, but now I'm really serious. And he looks at me and goes, what? Jeb, you're kind of freaking me out. I said, no, say it again. Say it again. This is before I'm a Christian, by the way, so I probably wouldn't have handled the situation the same way now. He's like, Jeb, you're freaking me out. What do you mean? Say it again. I'm like, please say that again. He's like, no, I'm not going to. You're being weird. And I go, because I'm going to prove you so freaking wrong, it's not even going to be funny. Again, probably wouldn't have handled that situation that way now. But 2 years later, he's riding with me in the same truck, and we're driving to the bank. And he just casually, he's a very forward guy. And so he just asks me, he says, Jeb, how much money did you make last month? And I'm like, X. I won't say the number. I don't ever want to in any way come off as bragging. But I said, boom. You asked me the question. I'm like, fine, here you go, whatever. I'm very open about finances. I don't have an intention to brag about them because I don't have any security in them. My security is in the Lord. But I don't care if somebody asks. I don't care if they know. So I told him. He just looked at me and said, Jeb, I was wrong about you. Like, wow. I was like, man, that's so cool. I don't know. Again, that I need to think about. I need to pray about that because that might be pride on my part. I don't want to be prideful, but it is really cool. It's really cool to see what the Lord's done to the company. I think I should put it that way. It's very cool to see what the Lord has done for me and for my family and for you guys. And so I'm very excited about that. And sometimes the excitement that I have for what the Lord's done to us may lead to pride in me. And if you guys think I'm prideful, please tell me because I don't want to walk in pride. And I don't care if you say it here in the stream chat. You say, Jeb, I think you're being prideful. Go ahead. I don't care. You can tell me. I don't want to walk in pride. But either way, pretty exciting. Bitcoin's currently at $35,000. Just broke up. Just broke up. Like a Taylor Swift song. No, Bitcoin is on its way to the upside. It's doing very well. Like I said, Bitcoin either continues to moonshot here or goes through a correction. It looks like Bitcoin might be taking his pick. I was very confident that we were going to break through 31.8. I'd say I gave it like a 75 to 85% chance in my head that we were going to break through 31.8 pretty easily. At this point, I'm not quite as confident that we're just going to moonshot up to like 40. It could, but here's the issue. Well, there is this trend line, and I do want to point out this trend line. Bitcoin has this gigantic trend line that we fell below. We're actually in the process of breaking above it. So we'll see. I don't want to give a massive prediction. What I will say is the prediction from March still stands. 35 to 50K. I gave it the bound to go as high as $50,000 by the end of this year. There's only 2 months left. So there you go. Let's see. They're trying to keep this as quiet as possible. That's going parabolic. Yep, more egg on the SEC's face. Anyway, guys, praise the Lord for everything that he's given me. All glory to him, none to me. Appreciate all of you guys for tuning in. If you enjoyed today's stream, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Like I said, Apex, we'll probably make some content on that in the future. Really good DEX. I've really enjoyed using it. Bybit is also a good exchange from everything that I know. I don't currently use Bybit because it's outside the United States. And while I'm not going to say for sure I'm against using VPNs, I would feel like I was lying. So even though I really like Bybit and I would like to use it since I'm within the United States, I wouldn't condemn anybody else for this because I don't know if it's technically wrong, but my conscience tells me that I want to be careful about lying about where I am with a VPN. So Apex is a great solution to be able to have access to leverage trading and a very very Bybit-esque exchange in the United States. It's a DEX, no KYC required because there's nothing to KYC. There's nobody to collect the KYC. It's just a bunch of smart contracts. So if you're interested in leverage trading in the United States and you don't want to use Bybit, then you're welcome to use Apex, and you can also use Bybit if you're outside of the States, because I do think it's still a great exchange. So check out those down below. OMAC said, it's not payback. Elijah talked and mocked the believers of Baal. It allowed God to prove himself. Yes, but at that point that was in the glory of the Lord. And that's true, OMAC. But listen, there are some people take it too far and think that there's nothing wrong with. Look, the Bible says, rebuke them sharply in Titus chapter 2. It talks about Jesus went in and overthrew the tables and the money changers' tables in the temple. There's a lot of areas where, there's a place for a sharp rebuke. There's a place for, calling something stupid. Like I called something stupid the other day, and my son started saying stupid, and it ran through my head. I was like, you know what? This is a dilemma. Most parents run into this dilemma. Do I stop my child from saying stupid? Do I consider that a curse word or not? I thought about it, and I looked at him. I said, Malachi, be careful with that word because you're not mature enough to know how to use it yet. But stupid and dumb are not bad words. There's a place for them. And I believe the place is that you call things stupid and actions stupid or dumb. I don't personally call people dumb. I don't personally call people stupid because I believe that calling a person dumb or stupid is degrading their character. And the Bible says in Psalm 139, verse 14, I will praise thee, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are thy works, and that my soul knoweth right well. That work is us. So if you're calling another person dumb or stupid, you're calling part of God's creation dumb and stupid, and that's not very kind to God, the creator of that vessel. But I'll call an action stupid and dumb all day. I got no problem with ripping apart stupidity. So that's where I draw that line. There is absolutely a place to rip somebody's actions to shreds. And if you're going to bow down to Baal, that is absolutely a place to do that. But if somebody's just making fun of my YouTube channel, I don't know if it is. So interesting theological question. Would love to hear your opinions on that. If you enjoyed today's stream, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Stay tuned because we got more content, and we're bringing you high-quality educational and informational technical analysis and fundamental content every single weekday here on the channel. And eventually, I'd like to be able to get back to doing 7 days a week. I want to bring the Sunday videos back. I want to be putting up almost 20 pieces of content a week on the YouTube channel and then branching out, just nailing it on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. Stay tuned for all those platforms. We've got a lot to come. And also stay tuned because we've got some big changes coming up soon that at first you're going to say, what? And then after a minute, you're going to say, ah. And you're going to realize that we got it figured out. We're on track, and God's good to us. I want to thank every one of you for watching. I want to thank the Lord for bringing me here safely today. Before I go, I do just first want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching, as always, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Oh, I got a real good feeling.